it's been a long time to get here, and I really appreciate all the words that Billy gave us. But today what we'd like to do is to dedicate this opening of the South Alabama Agriculture and Forestry Museum to Milton C. Williams. Milton was our first president, but he was more than that. He was the original organizer that kind of got a lot of folks stirred up on this, and I'll kind of explain how he did that in just a little bit. But if I could paraphrase or kind of speak on behalf of Milton today, his words would be he would like to dedicate this museum to the farm families of the Mobile area. And he was really big on trying to create a place where families could come and enjoy some of the history of agriculture and forestry and natural resources in Mobile County. And but he was big on education as well. So he wanted, that was part of the vision for it to not only just be static displays of history, but also education that would carry us on into the future. So he wanted something for all generations, but especially for children. And many of you may not know Milton. I want to tell you just a little bit about him. He came to Extension, as far as I know, in 1992 when our Master Gardener program first began, and he was one of the first class members and went through that and became a volunteer. And Milton just looked for everything and anything. I know Calvin told me that Calvin in the Farmers Federation, they put on a Farm City tour, a bus tour of the county and ag, about every other year. And Milton was on one of those early ones back in the early 90s and just got fired up about agriculture. And he was a consumer. He wasn't a farmer, and if I'm not mistaken, y'all were in Chicago? Is that
New York?
New York, okay. So he was a big-time New York graphics person and worked for that type of firm. So he wasn't, he didn't grow up as a farmer or anything, but he created a quick love for it. Calvin, he created it many times, that tour, and introducing him to the farming community. But he wanted to become an advocate, and he did that. One of the early programs, he did that through Master Gardener, but he got involved with Mr. Pitt and the Classroom in the Forest, and he was one of the wonderful volunteers for that. I don't know if he ever missed one of those sessions or not. I mean, he just loved those children. And Miss Joy knows because she does it today and has for a long time up at McDavid Jones. But Milton, he went to all of those. He loved that. And so he wanted to be that advocate for, well, I don't know when the discussion came and who he talked to before he came to me, but we talked about it back in early 2003 and early that year. In April, I've got a few notes here. It's just funny. Let me grab a couple of these things. In April, he sent me a note that says, as of April, and this is Milton, as of 4/10/03, I have discussed the idea of an agricultural forestry museum with Steve Lyda, Bob Pittman, John Lansing, John's here today, Woody March, Patrick McGowan, and Chet Hatchett. All are interested and excited. I will keep you posted. And that's what Milton did. He kept me posted for a long time, didn't he, Darrell? He kept a lot of people posted on things. So he was just a joy to work with over the years. Well, he came up, he's very visual and artsy, and so he came up with a PowerPoint presentation, and it was entitled Sink or Float. And I don't know if some of you guys remember that PowerPoint presentation, but we put that first meeting together, he did. I helped him organize it in September. In September 23rd, we had over 40 people that he had generated some interest in to come to a meeting, and he presented that PowerPoint presentation. And in that presentation, it started off, this is his words: most consumers don't know that the multitude of products they must use daily to live come from agriculture and forestry. This lack of knowledge seriously jeopardizes both the well-being of the consumer and the producers of agriculture and forestry products. Agriculture needs the consumer, and consumers need agriculture. One cannot exist without the other. The fate of one affects the fate of the other. Consumers and agriculture are in the same boat, and together we will sink or float. He ended that presentation, the reason I bring this up today, by making this statement. Hopefully, I have planted a seed today. a seed that will be given when it needs to germinate, what it needs to germinate and mature into an agriculture and forestry museum. A museum that will cultivate and nourish a better understanding of and concern for agriculture by consumers. And that kind of evolved into what the mission of this agriculture museum was. Milton was there, like I said, from the very beginning. Milton, you know, he had an impact on a lot of people, but he shared that impact with his family. And, you know, just by knowing that we were going to do this today and to kind of, you know, give him a little tribute, his children emailed Jane. And I have to, I'm sorry, but I have to read you their comments. I think Miss B will enjoy them as well. But Veronica Allen, she's his daughter, lives in Atlanta, Georgia. She said, she wrote to Jane, "I'm so grateful for what you have done in memory of my daddy. I know he is smiling down, probably thinking of what else he can do next. Every day feels like yesterday, and I miss him all over again. My appreciation and heartfelt thanks go to you and everyone who made this dream a reality. I wish I could be there with my mom for the ribbon cutting, but we, my family, my brother's family, and even my dad are all there in spirit. I am so honored for the accolades my father has received, and I share all of this with my children so they too will become strong-minded and focused on their goals. I can't wait to bring my own family down to see the museum and feel my father's presence all over. And I thank you for what you've done and what you will continue to do." And then Elliot, his son, and those of you who know Milton are going to recognize a lot of these comments because, I mean, it sounds like Milton all over again. But Elliot wrote, "I can recall just like it was yesterday the calls from Dad to chat about the location, discuss the basics of financing, see his drawings of the logos around the house, as well as the plans and designs for the building. They all bring back great memories of my dad and reminders of both his attention to detail, methodical and patient process, follow through, and just as important, the ability to visualize the future. Confident in covering every aspect of the planning process. With that, I'm reminded of the words of the late Arthur Ashe." This is like Milton. He's always going to quote somebody. But his son quotes Arthur Ashe, "One important key to success is self-confidence. An important key to self-confidence is preparation. All through his life, I've been reminded by Dad, before anything else, preparation is the key to success. All of his and your continued planning and preparation has resulted in this spectacular achievement. Never forget that spectacular achievement is always preceded by unspectacular preparation. And now it seems that the future has finally arrived. Let's take a moment to bask in this moment that has taken so many years to achieve." That's Milton all over again right there. "Remembering my father's contributions in order to be able to finally arrive at this day are appreciated. In an example of role reversal, I, as a child, am so proud of my father. Your actions and decision to recognize him only reminds me of the rewards and sense of fulfillment Dad described when he used his ability to see all things through to completion. Through this achievement, he only continues to remind me of the importance of hard work. I am so sorry that I'm not able to attend in person, but happier still that his anchor, my mom, will be there to represent all of us. However, rest assured that this will be one of my first stops during my next trip to Mobile. Going forward, there will always be a reason for me to return to Mobile. With the opening of the South Alabama Agriculture and Forestry Museum, I will continue to wake every day knowing that my dad has left a lasting legacy. I don't have to thank you. I know that each one of you feel his presence and smiles being down on you today, a final product of years of hard work. I am confident that he and all of you are very proud of you." That was Milton all over, and we do appreciate Milton for his vision, and I know he appreciates each and every one of you for carrying through and continue to working on that, and it's just a great day for all of like to offer, Ms. B, is there anything you'd like to say?
I'd just like to say I'm so humbled to have had this honor in memory of Milton. And I thank the South Alabama Agricultural and Forestry Museum Foundation and all of the other members and the people who help those members as well to make this a very, very special new beginning. I thank you.
And that was a great segue as well, because we really do want to thank a lot of people, and I'm going to run through some, and then I'm going to